Leading Change, Why Transformation Efforts Fail by John P. Kotter. Presentation by Kelly Warden. Agenda. Today we're going to go over some of the background on the author of the Harvard Business Review article, the objective of the article, the 8 steps to transforming your organization, the common pitfalls associated with those 8 steps, and then we'll conclude with a real-world application example. Author background. This article was originally published in 1995, and it was supposed to be a preview to Kotter's 1996 book, Leading Change. John P. Kotter was a Harvard Business School professor, and he retired in 2001. In 2008, Kotter co-founded Kotter International, which is a business consultancy firm. In 2011, he was named one of the most influential management thinkers in the world on the Thinkers 50 list. Objective. The objective of this article was to learn strategies to be successful in organization transformation and to learn why such transformation efforts fail. Steps to transforming your organization. The following graph depicts the 8-stage process to a successful transformation in an organization. It all starts with creating a sense of urgency, moving to communicating the vision, and ends with institutionalizing the new transformation strategies to achieve that vision. It doesn't stop at step 8. It's a continuous improvement effort within this transformation. Let's take a look at each of these steps in more detail. Establishing a sense of urgency. For change to happen, you need to develop a sense of urgency around that need for change. This will provide us a catalyst to create motivation. In this stage, you're going to want to develop scenarios and show opportunities that exist in the future through this change. Kotter believes that you need to convince at least 75% of management that this change is necessary. In order to do this, you're going to go and request support from your clients, outside stakeholders, and people from your industry to further strengthen your argument for change. Creating a guiding coalition. You're going to need to convince people that this change is necessary. You're going to look within your organization to find effective leaders to help lead this change. You're going to need to bring together a team of influential people. A successful team consists of leaders who have a shared commitment, leadership presence, and who work well as a team. After forming this team, the team will be able to work on continuing to build that urgency and momentum around the need for change. Creating a vision. A clear vision directs the change effort and can help everyone understand why you're asking them to do something. After creating the vision, you're going to want to develop strategies on how you're going to change or how you're going to achieve that vision. This usually includes many brainstorming sessions with leadership and staff. Communicating the vision. This is one of the most critical steps within the 8 steps. What you do with your vision after you create it determines your success. You're going to want to go on a marketing campaign, and you're going to want to talk to as many leaders as possible and embed your vision into all conversations that you have internally. You're going to use internal sites, monthly meetings, and newsletters to highlight your vision. The more people that hear and see it, the more they will remember, and it will start to become more and more familiar to them. This will create more people buying into your vision and overall transformation effort. Empower others to act on the vision. Removing barriers. This can help empower the people you need to execute your vision, and it can help the change moving forward. Encourage risk-taking and innovation. Some ways to accomplish that are by recognizing and rewarding people for making the change happen and being part of the overall team. Plan and create short-term wins. Define short-term wins. The goal is to come up with several surefire, quick wins. During and after successful completion of these wins, you're going to want to reward and recognize the people who helped you. This again is going to help promote that vision and just make it even that much stronger. Consolidate improvements and produce more change. Use your short-term wins to add credibility. Hire, promote, and develop employees contributing to this vision. This ties back to rewarding and recognizing your staff who are contributing to the vision. Continually look for new short-term wins to continue building the momentum for change. Institutionalize new approaches. Articulate connections between new behaviors and success. Create leadership development and succession plans using this new approach. Change does not stop here. As I mentioned before, it is a continuous improvement effort throughout these 8 steps. Now that we've looked at what a successful change process looks like, let's take a look at some of the common pitfalls in application. Common pitfalls. These pitfalls on the slide are the common pitfalls throughout the entire 8 steps. Underestimating the difficulty of driving people from their comfort zone. No prior experience at the top leadership level. Presenting a vision that is too complicated or vague. If people don't understand your vision, they can't buy into it. Under-communicating that vision. Like it was mentioned before, you really need to go out and market your vision and make it known to leadership as much as you can. Declaring victory too soon. Promoting people into leadership who don't buy into the vision. Now that we've gone over the process, let's take a look at a real-world application. So I currently work for one of the Big 4 firms, and right now we're actually going through a global transformation effort. And part of the global transformation effort that we're working on is actually to have more of a global procurement network of suppliers. So our objective and vision for the global transformation effort is to establish a global procurement network that leverages supplier relationships with a view of delivering savings and value based on price, consistency, alignment, and efficiency in a manner that is in the best interest of the network as a whole. Some of the goals of this transformation is to help foster collaboration between all the different countries that we do business with. We want to understand more about the client impact and ensure that their requirements are being addressed. And we want to drive a proactive approach and improve awareness. This transformation effort has been going on for approximately 2 years so far, and it's part of a 5 to 7 year total transformation effort. So let's go through the 8 steps, and I'll talk a little bit about what we've done over the past 2 years in each of the processes. So we're going to start with establishing a sense of urgency. One of the first things we did was we ran several scenarios and presented opportunities and risks to leadership. So we ended up identifying a significant dollar savings. We're talking somewhere in the range of $1 to $2 billion that the firm could save over the next 5 years if we were to go forward with our total transformation plan. This really captures leadership attention. The next one is that we identified compliance risks to the firm. So we're heavily regulated by the Public Accounting Board and the Security Exchange Commissions. We have certain controls and processes in place to ensure that we are doing fair business. So those 2 things being presented to leadership and providing all the analysis and things up front, this really captured their attention, and it did help create that sense of urgency. Next, we created guiding coalition, right? So we've formed several councils at the territory, regional, and global levels. So, for instance, we have a council just for the US, just for Australia, just for India, but we also have regional councils where the US and Canada, for instance, combine forces to help accomplish certain goals as well. And then we also have an overseeing global council where everything kind of rolls up through there. and all of our tasks and different initiatives, they all get approved at the global level. Another thing we did is we hired new leaders. So about 2 years ago, we went out and hired 3 new heads of the organization to help facilitate this change. Creating a vision. So I kind of already presented you with our vision, but really this is extremely important. You can see it's short, it's broad, but it's also very kind of specific in what we want to do. We want to deliver savings, and we want to have value based on price, consistency, and alignment and efficiency in our whole global network as a whole. The next step was to communicate that vision. So like I said, marketing your vision is incredibly important. Even 2 years into it, we are still marketing this vision on a daily basis in all leadership calls, whenever we present locally, regionally, and globally to key stakeholders and leaders. We always start off our presentations with what is the vision, what is the goals, and what are we trying to accomplish. And again, this is actually this is tied to performance evaluations. So something that the new leadership brought into our organization was, setting targets, specific targets and goals for each individual leader, and they are strictly tied to that performance. Empower others to act on the vision. So this is where we start to work with change management leaders. We have recognition and reward programs for people who want to be a part of our vision. We also are, in every call, we ask if there's any barriers that anyone is experiencing, and we attempt to remove those barriers. Most barriers, they do go up through the head of our organizations, and they will address them appropriately. Plan and create short-term wins. So within the past year, we've started identifying short-term wins and timelines for achieving them. We've identified 3 or 4 short-term wins in about a 6-month period at a time. And what we're doing is we're forming small teams, like teams of 2 or 3 people, to go out and accomplish those short-term wins. And then also along with that comes the reward and recognition from those wins. Consolidate improvements and produce more change. So this is where you want to market those short-term wins to other people, and hopefully over time you would end up forming small groups of people who keep going out and doing these short-term wins to gain momentum. And it also helps get more people involved in the overall transformation initiatives. And of course, after you've completed these short-term wins, you're going to analyze what went right and what went wrong, so in your next short-term wins, you can adjust appropriately. Institutionalize new approaches. You're going to, like I said before, this is a continuous improvement effort, and with all new training to staff, you really want to pitch this vision to them and make sure it's embedded in training materials and whatnot going forward. And in order to sustain this, you really have to have that continuous improvement mindset. So overall, you can see that these 8 steps, if you do follow them, although it's time consuming, it does really work. And like I said, we are 2 years in out of about a 5-year process, and it just keeps going. And we're constantly, some people are at different stages in a process, and you keep just going back to what is your vision, what are your goals, communicating it, planning those short-term wins, and again, it's a continuous improvement effort. With that, I'd like to conclude and say thank you, and if you have any questions, you can email me. Thank you.